Hi, I'm Karen from Banyan Theatre Company, and I have been at the Marketplace Theatre lots and lots of times with all different shows. And two of the shows I've brought have been The Merman's Tale, which was set underwater, and also Little Red Riding Hood. And I'm going to show you how to make your very own mini Marketplace Theatre. So first of all, I'm going to show you an underwater one. So first, I have made this out of an old box. I'm going to show you how to make it, but I just want to show you how we're going to do it. We're going to put little card puppets and titles onto sticks, and we have got, there's the octopus there, and you can see he's got a sea background, and we've got some little fish that I can flip around because of different colours on both sides. And I also have but because this is a mini theatre, we can change it around. So there we go, there's the sea. I've put the sea backdrop, this is called a backdrop, onto a stick so you can take it away. And once it's taken away, I have got a forest background. So you can guess. With this one, we can do the story of Little Red Riding Hood. I've made some little trees so they can fit in the forest. I'll take away this little piece. There's another little tree. And these are so simple. They're all made from cardboard. And all I need is a different title. This time we have the story of Little Red Riding Hood. And of course we need Little Red Riding Hood herself. And she is made from card and from fabric. And then who else is in this story? The big bad wolf. And the wolf has been made from card, a pipe cleaner, and some wool. And because his legs have been made from wool, he can run really fast. And of course, the story is never complete without the little grandmother. But the grandmother doesn't want to be in the forest, for she's at home and not very well. So I'm going to take the forest backdrop away because it's on a stick. And we have her bedroom. And we even have a little cardboard bed for her to lie in. Where is she? Here she is. She's a very groovy grandmother with her pink fluffy hair. Oh, I don't feel too well today. I just have a little lie down in my bed. And I'm going to wait for my granddaughter to come. Well, we all know who appears at the door first. It's not the grandmother. It is the big bad wolf. And of course, ooh, he's going to try and nibble her. Ooh. Oh dear, you're not my grandmother. Oh, my granddaughter even. Go away, shoo. Well, she will be safe because in the story, of course, we have the woodcutter. And the woodcutter has his big axe. And of course, he saves the day. But you can make your very own mini theatre with me, and I'm going to show you how. Firstly, I'm going to show you how to make the puppet theatre. What you need is a box. So put this one over here. I had an old wine box here, and this is about the perfect size, but you could make a smaller one. You could use a shoe box or even any type of supermarket box. Now the first bit's a little bit tricky, so you might need some help with this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, maybe about an inch in, I'm going to just draw a box shape inside my box because I'm going to cut this out. And one up there. I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to draw the front. Now the front needs to be quite big because this is going to be the opening to your theatre. So draw this one up, draw a bit over here, and lastly a bit over here. Oops. Okay, so I am going to use a Stanley knife for this. This is a bit you need some help with. Obviously, pretty dangerous working with a knife, so if you can get someone to do this bit for you, it would be really useful. So you could draw it out and then get someone to cut it out for you. So I'm going to cut it up here and here. This is the hole for the theatre, all the way along. One more cut and we're done. You might be lucky, some boxes already have a bit you can press out of them. But there we go. I'm going to keep this for my puppet making in a little minute. We have the hole for the theatre. And then what we're going to do is cut the top piece out. Because the puppets that we make are on sticks. And they're based on a type of puppet called the Sicilian rod puppet. And you can look those up and see. And they always have a rod above them. And that's what we're doing. There we go, nearly there. Ooh, there we are. Ta-da! We have our theatre ready for action. So once you've got that, you can either paint it or you can cover it in paper, maybe wrapping paper, anything you want really. And then once you've got that point done, you want to make some curtains. Now, the curtains I made on my one, I had some bits of red felt, but you might not have felt. You can use any fabric at all. I'm even going to use dusters. I'm going to keep my theatre like this, quite like it yellow. And I'm going to make my curtain. Now to make my curtain, I want it quite long, but I'm going to zigzag fold it like this. So I want quite a bit of fabric. And once I've got the fabric there, I'm going to tape it on. Now if you've got a stapler, it's very handy just to staple on as well. I'm just doing it really quickly just to show you. So once it's on there, I'm going to have it hanging out the front. I would probably trim it off, it's a little bit too long there. I could make a hole through the side, and you can see on my one I've tied a little bit of string. I've put a little hole through the side of the box and tied it round just to keep the curtains in one place. So curtain on each end, and then you're ready for your scenery. Now my one, because we've got a mini marketplace theatre, I've put a little sign at the top. You can call your theatre anything you want. And then you want to make your backdrops. Very simple. Once again, for your backdrops, all you need is some cardboard or even paper would do. In fact, you could even use bits cut out of a magazine if you wanted. You want your backdrop to fit inside. So, you don't want it to catch on your edges. And once you've got that, you need to put a stick at the top. Now, if you don't have a stick like this is a pea stick, you could use a knitting needle, you could use a straw, piece of doweling, even a paintbrush if you've nothing else. Try to make sure you don't need to go out to get anything. Use things that you've got already in home. So there we go, roll it around the back, bend it over, and once you've got that, just tape it all along that edge. And then you can do any design that you want. I did a forest, so I painted my whole thing green, and then I did lots of big trees on it, some nice blue sky, anything you want. Think about what story you're going to tell, what scenes you need, and you can think about what ones you can have. And then you can line them up, all different ones, one behind another. So when you change your scene, you lift them out and change them over. And that's how to make your puppet theatre. You can paint it black inside if you want, that gets it all with a nice finish. And then after that, I'll show you how to make the scenery and the puppets. That you have your puppet theatre and you have your backgrounds, it's time to make some scenery to stand inside the theatre. So, the pieces of card which you cut out of your box are what you're going to make your scenery out of. I'm going to show you how to make a little tree first of all. Very simple. So you need a pen and your piece of card. Now, bear in mind, you want it to be the right size for your theatre. So have a little look and see what shape and size would work best. You don't want it too big, to take up too much space. I'm just going to show you how to make a little tree. So very simple shape. I'm going to do a bit like a cartoon tree. And I'm going to put the trunk on, and I'm going to make it a little bit wider at the bottom. That'll help it when it stands up. So once I've got that, take my scissors and cut my tree out. And it is good for the scenery to use the box card because once again it's a little bit stronger, so it works a bit better. You'll use just normal card for the puppets, but this works really well for this. So get this cut out very simply. You just do a quick cut out of this. You can obviously spend a little bit more time doing it than I am, so I just do a quick cut around here and cut into here. Oop, nearly there. There we go. And that is the cutout of my tree. So once I've done that, I need to find a way to make it stand up. So if you look on the back of this, I've made a little stand for it. And all you need to do that is take a little bit of your scrap card and cut it into a triangle shape. And once you've got that, you want a little bend in it. Now, if you put a little score, you can use a ruler to do it, put a little score in your card, it helps you bend it a little bit better. But basically, you just want a little piece like this that you can put on the back to make it stand up. So once you've got it cut, you can stick it. Now, I suggest that you don't be completely flat with it. You go just slightly higher on the line, and that means that the tree won't fall forwards. It means that if it's going to go anywhere, it's more likely to go backwards. And then all you need to do is put some tape on it. And that is how to make your stand-up tree. And then you can decorate it, obviously, once again, with your paint. Get your paint and paint it up any way you want. You can even stick bits on it if you prefer. You can make like a collage on it. So that's your tree. And in my story, I also had a bed. So I'll show you how to make that. So I'm going to measure my puppet, make sure she fits on the bed. And then once you've got that, you can cut your shape out. So I'm going to cut just the base bit first of all. And once again, I'm going to do a little score in it. And that means I can bend it, and that is this end. And then the top end, I want to sit in here. So to get that to sit, what you want to do is take your pen and cut those wee corners away so you end up with a slot. I'll just show you what it looks like. So cut in here, chop in there, chop in there, chop in there, like that. That shape. So when you put this on here, you're going to cut a little slit. Push your scissors through. Be very careful with your scissors again. If you make sure you've got something underneath that you can push into, it makes it slightly easier. And, oh, run me around. And then it can slot through. And that's a really good way to make it really stable. And then you can change the shape of the bed. I think I'll make the bed have a little piece here, just to do that shape. So there's my bed. Once again, paint it up, and then I want to make my bedding, so I can use, I've got some dish towel here, and this is really handy, little dishcloth. You can fold that up, make it into a little blanket, cut it to the shape. You can use, once again, dusters, any bits of cloth you've got. Paint your bed up. You can paint it so it makes it look like wood. And you can do the same for anything. If you want to make a table or a lamp or a chair, pretty much the same technique. Just mess around with the cardboard. Cardboard's great because you can bend it and into all different shapes, and it can stand up and it can be really strong. So have a go at that too. Now for the fun bit, making some puppets. So I did the underwater scene, and I cut these ones very simply out of card. In fact, all the puppets were cut out of card, and I just used just a thin card that I happen to have. Now, what's important is think about the scale of your puppet to fit inside. As I say, these ones are just cut and put onto sticks. But you want some bits and bobs that you'd have around the house, like the grandmother there. I've used feather for her hair. The little woodcutter, I've put a paper fastener through him so he can wiggle, And the wolf, you can see, has got string put through him. I'll just make one just to show you very quickly. So let's see if we make the grandmother. So what you need to do is draw her out. So very simple. I'm just going to draw a head and her wee neck, where her arm's going to go, and the top part of her body. Oh, okay, it's hard drawing upside down. Okay, so very simply, about something, just keep it really straightforward. You could even, if you want, instead of drawing it, if you wanted to, you could cut out some faces from a magazine though, and then stick them onto cards. You could even use some of your own family members. Maybe you would want to turn Little Red Riding Hood into your self, or your sister, or your mum, or somebody, or the wolf. You could turn yourself into the wolf. So you basically want half a body shape. And once you've got that, you want to stick, make skirts, or it's much harder when you're putting legs on the puppet. So when you put the legs on, it's a little bit harder because you can't move them so well. So if you've got a character, you can put a skirt or maybe a cloak on. It makes it a little bit easier. So if I find my scissors again, I'm going to use a duster again. Very simple. But there's always some fabric, or even tights or bits of socks, anything. When you're putting fabric on, try and use something nice and light. There we go. I'll just cut a little piece. And I'm going to, now I'd probably use glue. If you're doing it, use glue. I'm just going to use sellotape just at the moment, just it'll be nice and quick just to show you. And that's her with a wee skirt. And then obviously I do all the colouring in. Felt tip pens are great to use, but you could also paint. So draw a face on, and once I've done that, I'm going to put hair on her. I'm just doing a super quick one here. So I have my feathers. So, with my grandmother, because she was quite funky, she had pink feather hair. Cut a little piece of your feather off and glue it on. It's as simple as that. Oh, wrong way round. And glue it onto her. If you want to make a wig from wool, wool's great to make a wig. All you do is you make some loops. And make a few loops with your wool. And then you cut, and then chop through it, and you have this. Then you take another little piece of wool and tie it in the middle. And it's tied in the middle, you have a wig, and then you can put that onto your puppet, and then you can chop whatever length you want. Now what's really important is when you put the stick on. So once again, I'm using a pea stick. But remember, if you don't have a pea stick, you can use a straw, you can use a knitting needle, you can use a pencil even if you have nothing else. Really important when you put it on is take your sellotape and make a flag. Once you've got a flag of sellotape, stick that at the back in the middle, and then put another piece of sellotape over the top. And the reason for that was otherwise it slips, it tends to slip down. So if you do it this way, it means that it's much more secure. And once again, think about the size that fits inside. My one's got nothing on at the moment, but then all you need to do is you have her, she can dance around inside. If you were making the wolf or making an animal you wanted moving legs, then all you need to do with your cardboard is just cut a little hole, or if you've got a hole puncher, put a piece of string through, and then put little feet on the bottom. If you put the little feet on the bottom, it's good because it gives it a little bit of weight for when it moves. I put a stick on the same way, and you can see on this one, I put a pipe cleaner on just to be his tail. So the puppets are really simple, but they're really good fun to make. And if you're making fish, we can see you can have great fun. Be crazy about your design. Don't stick to just normal ones. This one here, he's got mad eyes, and your shark, you can see he's got teeth so he can bite. And the little fish here, I've cut a few little ones out and I've stuck them all the way down here. So that was a good way to do it. And remember, when you're making these puppets, put a back on them as well. If you put a back and colour them in on the back, it means that when you're working them, you can turn them to the other side as well. There we go. And I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun. But first of all, think of the story you want to tell, and then map it all out. all of the designs that you want for it, and then start making it, and you'll have a great fun with your miniature theatre.